The release of Vanguard Zombies is one I don't think the zombies community will be forgetting for a long time, and for all of the wrong reasons. While I don't think the game is the worst thing ever created, the lack of content on launch and huge repetition basically killed any chance Vanguard Zombies had of being a fan favorite. If you're a regular on this channel, you should be familiar with my favorable stance on this mode. The general gameplay, movement, and new ideas are enough to save this mode from being completely irredeemable, and couple that with the Dark Ether grind, I've had a relatively alright time with Vanguard Zombies. But that still doesn't excuse the lack of content this game launched with, and when the second map, Terra Maledicta, was announced, this was going to be Treyarch's time to prove they still cared about this game. Well, the map released, and I'm giving my thoughts on it 5 months later. Because I kid you not, I had absolutely no motivation to give my thoughts on this map because this was quite possibly one of the most uninspired things I've ever played to date. I want to preface this video of two important things. One, Terra Maledicta is not a bad map, but I won't hesitate to call it nothing special. It's not horrible. My feelings are just a tad bit complicated. And second, no matter how many cons this map does have, I do not blame Treyarch. This studio has been under pressure to rush shit out since late Black Ops 4, and it's very clear they don't have the time nor resources to create something on the same level as something you'd see in Black Ops 3. I still think it's a miracle we even got a Vanguard Zombies in the first place, and Treyarch being able to make an even somewhat enjoyable polished experience truly shows their talent, and Kevin Drew and everyone else on board deserves our applause. With all that said, I think we can start talking about the actual map. The first thing you'll notice upon spawning in is the map's setting, a eastern Egyptian desert. This barren land filled with wrecked, deteriorated buildings is a nice contrast to the dark, snowy war zone we saw in Fang, and helps add some variety as far as visuals are concerned. Unfortunately, the map itself has pretty boring visuals and lacks a solid atmosphere. This is an issue I've had with the mode for a while now, since one of the best qualities of COD Zombies for the longest time has always been the map's individual environments and moods. At least in Fang, the piles of stacked up dead soldiers and buildings in ruins gives the atmosphere a feeling of dread, whereas here, there's really nothing. The location is super boring. I will say that the Dark Ether location this time around does look pretty damn amazing, but if you're playing casually, you won't spend too much time in there anyways. But visuals do not mean anything if Terra Maledicta is not fun to play. So, is it? Well, believe it or not, I can't answer yes or no to that question, because Terra Maledicta is without a doubt in my mind the most mid thing I've ever played in all of COD Zombies. I mean it too, Terra Maledicta is funny enough the most inoffensive map in all of existence. What made Fang so jarring was his introduction of a lot of the bizarre new mechanics Vanguard Zombies had to offer. But what happens when you take the exact same gameplay philosophy that was already really nothing special in the first place and copy and paste it to a new environment with a lackluster layout? You get Terra Maledicta. All of the objectives and enemy types seen in Fang are back. I think Treyarch's main goal is to take the few things they got to do with Fang and build upon it with new features. But that's not a bad idea. Instead, they ended up creating a clone that, while different visually, feels the exact same, despite its new innovations. One of said new features is a new objective. Along with Transport, Harvest, Blitz, and Purge, there is now a Sacrifice. In a select area, this blob that is somehow important to the story due to the magic of power will spawn around the area. Your goal is to protect it from incoming zombies and defend it. All in all, it's not bad. While the idea of defending anything from an onslaught of enemies is enough to spark worry for me, you have plenty of time to stop a zombie from damaging the blob, and you'll only ever fail if you're too neglectful. Most of the time, the objective will result in some fast-paced fun, making it pretty decent. What I wish I could say was decent is the new wonder weapon this time around, the Decimator Shield. Props to Treyarch for creating an all-new original wonder weapon, but this is just not it, Chief. Okay, so first things first, this weapon is a quest exclusive. Not a side quest, no, it's only exclusive to the main quest. While the main Easter egg is a breeze, putting in any effort towards getting this thing that's more than an RNG 950 point box spin is a total ripoff. That's because this thing's damage is laughable. The main melee is nothing special and likely equivalent to that of a standard riot shield, and the main charge up blast is likely to take out 10 zombies at most. But hey, that's not that bad, and with no ammo to worry about, what's the problem? The problem is the fact that this weapon takes forever to recharge. And in a game mode that constantly rewards you with more power to correlate with its fast-paced model, waiting 30 seconds just to kill like 10 zombies is ridiculous. Maybe they could have had it take ammo and remove the cooldown, or just lower it to like 10 seconds. The Decimator Shield could have been a pretty reliable weapon. But you're better off sticking with the ray gun or the true wonder weapon of the game, the revolving shotgun. But with the new weapon also comes a new enemy type, Zavala the Deceiver. With the Boom Sliders being reskin Tormentors and Stormkriegers primarily serving to shred your health from range, can Zavala be better than both of them? Well, yeah. Being able to teleport around you and attack you with a dark ether form of trip mines, Zavala is not at all a horrible enemy to fight and can definitely shake up the gameplay. My only con is how you're supposed to defeat her. Having 3 masked faces, you have to destroy each one of critical hits. This can prove bothersome due to Zabala's constant teleportation and the fact you have to wait until after each mass destruction animation before you can resume damaging her. This can slow the pacing of the match down, but it's usually not too bad. My favorite part about Zabala is her lore contribution, since it's pretty cool seeing a Dark Ether god align herself with Quarter Effects for once. It helps flesh out the Dark Ether way more. I mentioned it earlier, but yeah, unlike Duan Feng, Terra Maledicta actually has a main Easter egg, with a catch. Okay, I don't think I can fully convey to you how lackluster this main quest is, but let me try by describing it. You listen to dialogue, do a purge, shoot 4 crystals, listen to more dialogue, do a sacrifice, listen to more dialogue, pick up the Decimator shield, listen to more dialogue, shoot 4 things with said shield, and hold the action button. That is it. That's the main quest. Granted, if you try going for it from the start of the match, the objectives you have to do to open up the map will at least give you the illusion the egg is longer than it is, but even if it did, this is just sad. What do I even need to say? At least the reward isn't half bad. Your weapons get triple packed, you get some RNG gear, and you unlock the same round-based objective mode that was later implemented to Duan Feng. Because I primarily use round-based, I have a better time grinding Dark Ether, and its repetitiveness is more fun than that of doing the same objectives all over again. I always do the Terra Maledicta egg to get round-based unlocked. I understand why the egg is the way it is because of Sherlock's lack of resources, and despite what others will have you believe, it's better than nothing. But man, it's a lackluster. The main thing about Vanguard Zombies I am pretty invested in is the story, which I do think has been pretty good so far. And Terra Maledicta continues making the overall narrative intriguing. After failing to acquire the Tomb of Rituals page in Duan Feng, a new Dark Ether entity named Veracana has joined our fight after hearing our transmission last map, and we are now in Egypt to retrieve a special weapon which ends up being the Decimator shield. I generally do like Veracana as a character, and the dialogue between the gods is way more engaging this time around. And seeing Von Lis starting to finally realize the soldiers he's going against are not to be underestimated is pretty cool. Also, the ending where you find the page that turns out to be a spell that can separate people bonded with Dark Ether entities, while anticlimactic at the time, does set up the next map of an exciting setup. In conclusion, Terra Maledicta is weird. It's basically a Duan Feng clone with a few more extra features that technically makes it an improvement, but not a super different experience. I wish I could say the new things introduced in the map would lead to more polished and feature objective based maps, but with Xenonuma Reborn reverting back to the classic zombies formula, I think it's safe to say both Duan Feng and Terra Maledicta are failed experiments. It's a shame because I applaud Sherlock for wanting to do something new, however they just didn't have enough time to fully realize their vision. Anyways, what do you guys think of Terra Maledicta? I know this video was long overdue, but like I mentioned earlier, I just didn't feel the need to cover such an inoffensive, harmless experience. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you have, then please like, subscribe, and as always, I will see you guys next time. Peace out.